Okay. We are back. Oh, as you can tell from the smile on my face, the I don't even know how to put into words how I'm feeling, honestly. This is a game that we absolutely needed to win, a game that we absolutely did win, and yeah, it's the elation and the kind of relief off your shoulders for winning this game. We have 2 games to go in our season, excluding the Club World Cup because that's obviously external from this season. 2 more games to go. And 2 of them are cup finals. They're both cup finals. I don't care if the Nottingham Forest game doesn't count as a cup final. It's a cup final to us, damn it. This was one of those performances that I enjoy. I enjoy these types of performances because of one thing, and it's a principle that I always say, is that if you're not going to play well, you better win, and if you're not going to win, you better play well. That's what I always say. So if you're going to lose, at least have a good performance. If you're going to win, and if you're going to play shit, then at least win the game somehow, and that's what we did. I don't think we had a very particularly good start to this first half. I think that for 20-25 minutes we were very, very lackadaisical. We didn't get into gear until about 25 minutes after. Started to pick up a little bit in the second half, and we did limit United to pretty much nothing. Again, they were... I got ragged onto them in my preview for how poor defensively they were. I don't think that I said enough about how poor they've been in attack, which has been a theme. And I predict, spoiler alert for when I kind of like react to my Premier League predictions later in the season. I kind of predicted this, that with the signings that United have made, that their attack was going to be poor, and it has turned out to be poor. Let me quickly pop the chat out because you guys are going mental in there. Going much faster than I remember. Is Cucurella the top scoring defender in the league now? Crazy. The thing about this Cucurella performance, which I think is, and I'll talk about Cucurella a little bit more, but at some point. But like, you know what? I'll save that until I talk about him, because he's, spoiler alert, he's obviously going in the good box here, right? But we have to run the intro, so here we go, lads, lasses, and the rest of the masses. Welcome to the grayscale. I don't know if that works, by the way. Does that make noise? I haven't got my headphones on, so I can't tell if that actually makes noise. It should make noise. I'm not sure if it does. All right, for the grayscale. First of all, before we do any of the talking about the actual game, let's get the bingo card off the agenda. Georgia striker, we get this. Palmer player of the match, we do not get this. Clean sheet, we do get this. Stamford Raw, now, it does make noise. Good, okay. Basically, because I have the monitor thing on, but I'm not wearing my headphones because it's distracting and annoying, so I can't actually hear. I don't know if there's probably music playing at the same time at the moment. I don't even know. Stamford Raw, now, I said this at the start when I did my pre-match stream, that this was specifically for those moments where the Stamford Bridge crowd goes absolutely ballistic. And this happened like 6 times in this game. Like, especially when Cuckoo scored. Incredible from our home support. They did need a little G'ing up at sometimes from the players. It was nice to see Colwill, Neto, and James, and even Maresca at the end of the game as well, kind of saying, come on, like, let's make some noise. And that clearly got into the sails of our players, and we started playing a bit more. We did not have Guillou on the bench. We did not have an early goal. We did get Reece James starting. Midfield men versus boys. Oh, this one's hard, right? This one is really hard for me to kind of justify ticking off, because I don't think Palmer or Enzo played particularly well in this game, but Moises Caicedo made the entire United midfield look obsolete, so I'm going to take it. Game of 2 halves, I will say this, because I think we looked much better in the second half than we did in the first. Unlikely goal scorer. See, this is... Can I count Marc Cucurella as an unlikely goal scorer at this point? He's the only player that scores for us at this point anymore. So I don't know if I can tick this off. I'll go back to this. If we can get a bingo from this, I'll tick it off. But I don't think we can, because it's on this line anyway. Player book for Descent. Yeah, we got this. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure. I think it was Tosin got this. I'm not sure. Clean tackle punished. Yeah, this happens every single time. Marescable in full flow. We did kind of see a bit of Marescable at times in this game, but I'm not going to take this off because I don't think we particularly played to the game plan very much. Ref/VAR mistake. Yep, we'll get to that. United back post issues. I called it. Back post header from Cucurella unlocks the United defence. I said it, man. They're so bad at dealing with balls into the back post. I don't know what it is about them. Worldy, and you know what? I'm going to count it as a worldy as well because the James assist is mental. Forest is out of the race. Forest is absolutely not out of the race. It's Forest are still in the race. They've got 2 games on us. They've got obviously the game against us, and then I'm not sure who they play next, but they're very well can overtake us if they beat us. So got to be very, very on that. We don't get a Lavi assist. We don't get a correct prediction. I predicted 3-1. We got a 1-0. Set piece goal we do not get. My camera is fine, so I'm not on vacation. Top 5 race brace we do not get. Weird sub. Can I count Malo Gusto going into... Yeah, you know what? I can count Malo Gusto going to right wing as a weird sub. Sure, we'll do that. Altai Bozo moment. Now, he didn't play. Altai did not play because I expected him to. Onana did, and Onana had a Bozo moment, so I'm going to take it. So, there we go. Goalkeeper Bozo moment. And clickety-click, 66. We are now officially on 66 points. We can't get a bingo, but for the free space, I'm going to give the free space to the Chelsea supporter in the crowd deciding, you know what, I don't care if I get suspended, I'm risking my life for the boys, and he jumped on the pitch when United were on an attack and stopped their attack. Good. I don't encourage pitch invaders, but thank you for your service. That's all I'm going to say. Perfect work for him. So we do not get a bingo today, do we? Oh, it's kind of upsetting we don't get a bingo. I hope we can get a bingo in the final on the final day. That'll be good. But let's move into the bulk of this. Hello. Is it going to let me bring this forward or no? There we go. Let's get into the bulk of this. We're going to talk about it's the 12th man we need. Bro took one for the team. He fully did. So someone's gonna. The funny thing is, so he's gonna post about that on social media later, and like his account is gonna blow up, guaranteed. So as usual, we'll go, what we do here on the Grayscale is we weigh our kind of options and kind of talk about the game. We'll put things in from the good things that are good and things that are medium, things that are bad, right? Always do this. I'm not going to be putting anything in the medium today. I don't think. I'm not sure. I'm torn between one, and you guys can kind of decide. The first player that's going to go into this good box is actually a player that is not one player, it's 2 players. I'm going to highlight one player in particular, but it's a duo of Tosin Adarabioyo and Levi Colwill. These 2 were phenomenal today. Absolutely phenomenal. They got absolutely no change out of either of these 2. I'm going to talk about them both individually. This is a joint point. I'll talk about them both individually. Colwill, I think, again, he's really grown into his own, and playing on the left-hand side of the 3 is not particularly where he's supposed to be. He's much better as the central centre-back, but he played there very, very well, and alongside Cucurella, who I'll talk about later, he really, really locked up Ahmad for the majority of the game, except for maybe one little mazy run he got on. Really, really shut him down. He was winning his aerial duels as we kind of expect him to. Tosin Darabioyo is the one I want to focus on here, because Tosin, if Cucurella didn't get the winning goal, if Caicedo wasn't Caicedo, Tosin would 100% be getting my man of the match. He literally locked Højlund up completely the entire game. He got absolutely no change out of him. I don't think he lost a single aerial duel. I don't think he lost a single ground duel. He was completely all over the back of him and made him absolutely obsolete. You know what's really funny? That you said that, like, thanks for pronouncing Tosin's name right. I've been pronouncing his name the exact same way throughout the entire time that we've had him, and when I first started talking about him when we first signed him, people kept telling me that I was pronouncing his name wrong, so I don't know. But yeah, again, the thing is, right, Tosin Tosin is a player that I really, really want to succeed. I really want him to play well in this team, because not only is he so good at that central role, he's such a man mountain in the defence for the aerial duels, things like that. His passing through the lines into the midfield is really, really good. But of course, as you've just mentioned there, he's such a good leader at the back. He's the only kind of leader that we really have other than RJ, and to an extent Enzo as well, I would say. He's the main leader we have in the team, and if we could have him in the team 100% of the time, I feel like we'd do so much better, because he's that type of player that can kind of, you know, He's the one that's got the experience. He's the one that kind of can settle the nerves down when the rest of the players are all young, inexperienced players that, admittedly, and we could see this from the start of the game, were very nervy. They were very, very nervous. Yeah, that's the only issue, is that basically these two play in the same role, which is kind of unfortunate. Maybe if we sign Hatto, maybe that can be a partnership that forms, because Hatto is more left-sided. But yeah, these two absolutely locked them up. Again, another clean sheet for Colwill as well. Him and Chalabar, obviously, I've been mentioning, have been having a good partnership. Another clean sheet for him. Another clean sheet for Robert Sanchez, who didn't really have much to do today, but he saved the shots that did come his way when they did. So I'll give him a brief mention. I don't think it deserves to be put in any of the boxes, but phenomenal. Let's talk about, I don't want to stay on the goods, I want to kind of mix it up. Let's talk about something that I think I'm going to be nice, and again, I said you guys can decide on this. I'm going to put George in the medium box, and he could very well go in the bad box here, but I'm not going to be too harsh. He's 18. He did not play particularly well today, and again, maybe that's part of the reason for this, I will say, is on Enzo and Palmer. I think Enzo and Palmer in particular weren't very good in this game. I think getting the ball into them was a bit difficult, and Caicedo was doing his best, bless him. He was doing so well at doing that, especially in the second half. He much improved in that in the second half. I felt like George just really didn't get, like, he didn't get the service. B, he wasn't working hard enough, in my opinion. And the main thing, which I'm kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt with, I don't think that him falling over for the penalty, I don't think it's a dive. I think there is contact there. I will admit there's contact there. I don't think it's a penalty. The thing which bugs me about that situation, yeah, the dive shows his inexperience. The thing which bugs me about that situation is because I'm fine with players going down for penalties if there's enough contact. I'm fine with that, right? Get your team a penalty, that's fine. And he knows that this is a 0-0 game. We need a goal. I can understand his decision, but he could very well just stay on his feet and probably score. Onana's completely out of the picture, so that's something which I'm kind of bugged about. I will talk about the referees in a second here, so I'll address the penalty situation. But yeah, I think I'm putting him in the medium box because I feel like he had enough. He kind of put in a shift, and again, it's his first ever start in the Premier League. I can't fault him too much. He's not even playing in his actual position. I would have liked to see, when we made substitutions late on in the game, I would have liked to have seen him move to the left side and kind of give him a run on his favoured role and see how that worked. But fortunately didn't get that. At least now he's got the experience under his belt of being able to do that. And if he does play in the same role against Forest, hopefully he can have a better game there. Let's talk about the bads. Let's get one bad out of here. Yeah. You knew it was coming. I complain about these bastards every single week, it seems like. I'm going to point out specific decisions. And I do think this, again, I always say this, I don't think that the referees in the league are particularly biased. I just think they're incompetent. I think they're just genuinely so stupid. Let's run through. I'm going to run off the top of my head some decisions, and if you know any that I have missed, then do let me know. The first one I want to talk about is the challenge on Gusto at the end is 100% a red card. That is horrific. It's a horror challenge. It's on his knee. It's really high. Very, very dangerous. He gets a yellow, gets away from it. I think that should be taken to a review. And I mean, if Jackson competing for an aerial ball is a red card and that's not, then I'm not really sure what is. So yeah, Giyu's just come back to team training. He was in the training video that went out today, so he might be on the bench for Forest hopefully. But yeah, so that's one. We've got the penalty decision. I'm perfectly fine with. I'm not going to complain about that. The one that was disallowed, I think that's fine. I can see that's not a penalty. The handball in the first half is absolutely egregious. How that's not a penalty, I have no idea. He's blocked a shot on target with his arm out like this. I'm not sure how that's not a penalty. I understand the ones where it's hit the arm, when it hits like this part of your arm, when they're kind of like when you've got your arm kind of tucked in. That's fine. When it's your actual hand though, your hand is like this and it stopped a shot on target, that's 100% a penalty. How is that not a penalty? I have no idea. It's complete absolute bollocks. They say proximity, but like I don't care. I'm okay with the proximity argument if it's that the defending player is not trying to get near the ball, right? Because if it's proximity and the player is just standing there and his arm gets hit and that's ball to hand, that makes sense, right? To me, that's fine. But he's actively going towards the ball with his arm out, which is why the proximity is short. It's because he's gone to block the shot with his arm out, which, again, is silly. And To be honest, this game would have been completely different if we get that early penalty decision. That bugs me. There was another late challenge on I think it was Cuckoo on the right hand side from, was it Mazarawi? I'm not sure who it was on the right side for them, but he completely got clattered. That's not a red either somehow. Very, very, very dangerous. I will say one thing. I will give the refs credit for one thing, because I'll get them objective. I would like to give them credit for the offsides today, because there was very clearly a protocol said to the offside, to the linesman, in the new games today, that, hey, we saw what happened to Taiwo Awaniyi. Put your flag up as soon as you know someone's offside. That's I will give the refs credit there, because that's clear. They've clearly seen, that's a mistake. We should stop doing that, and they've done that in this game. The flags have gone up very, very quickly in this game. The offside for Maguire as well, disallowing that. That's, again, it's very marginal, but I spoke about this the other day. You're either offside or you're onside. You can't really argue about it. I think he's offside just, but it is really, really harsh. But we get lucky in that regard, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. But yeah, for those kind of game-changing decisions, the penalty is egregious. The red card on Malagusto is egregious. The one on Cuckoo is a little bit bad too. And in general, I felt like they were just kind of roughing us up, and they got so many yellow cards in this game because of it. And they just never really we never really got protection from the referee at times. That's all I'm going to say about that. But luckily, usually these decisions absolutely fuck us over and make us lose games. In this game, we were actually kind of happy that it didn't fuck us over. So there we go. At least I can be happy for that. The next player I'm going to talk about, I forgot to put the card in here. The next player which I'm going to talk about is, who should I talk about? Let's talk about Reece James. Reece James gets in here simply because his assist is genuinely world class. I'm not going to say that I think he played particularly brilliantly throughout the whole game. He had his moments. He had a few moments, but and I actually complained about this a little bit. I'm tempted to put him in here genuinely, but because he gets the game-winning assist, he has to go in the good box. I kind of had my qualms with him because he wasn't passing it forward enough. It was kind of frustrating me, but yeah, it's Reece James back to his best in those kind of those high positions where he can get to, regardless of whether he's playing it at right back like he was today, or right centre back as he was today rather, or in the midfield. He can get into those positions, playing those deep balls into the back post, which I was hoping we would do. Yeah, again, it's a phenomenal assist. And the thing which the reason why I've bumped this into here is, one, as Shakala's just said, that rocket he hit in the first half, that should have been a goal. I was on my knees for that to be a goal. But also the fact that he completely embarrasses Garnacho with this turn and cross, and then about 2 minutes later, Garnacho's running down the wing and he just bodies him to the floor. He's just completely, utterly bodied him. That's the Reece James that I know and love. Completely nullifying the opposition wingers. And again, I don't think who was it on the left today? Was it Mason Mount? I don't even know if Mount actually played, how long Mount played for. He went missing. So that's fun. we get a +1 for that Mount completely went missing. The crowd just booed him off the pitch. Love that. But yeah, good from James. Again, game-winning assist. That's what we need. I can't not put him in here because he's got a game-winning assist. Let's talk about. I've got 3 more points. Let's talk about Caicedo. Let's talk about Moises Caicedo. It's hard to talk about Moises Caicedo without repeating myself, because every single time I put him in the box, I say the same thing. I don't have enough words to talk about this man. He has single-handedly, when Enzo and Palmer have been utterly, utterly woeful in this game, he has single-handedly completely dismantled the Manchester United midfield on his own. He's everywhere. He wins every single tackle. He is intercepting all the time. He plays the ball forward to the 10s. He's running up the pitch in the I think it was like the 85th minute. He's running up the pitch to close down the goalkeeper. He's insane. Actually insane. This is a world-class footballer, and the fact that he has not been nominated for Premier League Player of the Season or Young Player of the Season is a fucking crime. That is daylight robbery that he's not in that, by the way, because he is by far better than Rice that's in there. He's by far better than Morgan Gibbs-White. I know Morgan Gibbs-White's been having a good season. He's far better than... why is Saliba in the Young Player of the Season thing, by the way? Get him out of there. Put Moy in there instead. He's just the best midfielder in the league. Hands down. It's a criminal that he's getting put down. It's absolutely criminal to me. He's genuinely the best player. I genuinely think that any single team you put him into, he improves. Every single team that Liverpool have just won the league, and they've got one of the best midfielders in the league by far. They've got the best midfielder in the league. I think if you put him in there instead of, let's say, who should we get rid of? Szoboszlai, because he's the worst out of the three. If you put him in there instead of Szoboszlai, they turn into they could probably get 100 points this season. Like, genuinely, I can't describe him anymore. He's an alien. He is an alien. How old is Moises Caicedo? Is he 23? Let me check that. Let me check how old Moises Caicedo is. Because I do forget. He is very young. 23. Yeah, he's 20. This is 20. He's 23. He's got at least 7 years of his prime left. He's crazy. That's crazy how good he is already. I said he completely, again, with Tosin, obviously I say Tosin and Colwill did really, really well to shut out the opposition players, but obviously the big caveat with that is that Caicedo shielding them in front is mental. And we did play a bit of a weird formation in this one. We didn't play the and I kind of predicted this in my pre-match stream. We didn't play the 3-2-2-3 that we usually play. We actually played that kind of 3-1-3-3 thing, with Caicedo being that lone midfielder and just allowing the other three to go forward. Again, he doesn't need the extra support. He doesn't need it. Although I do prefer when Lavia plays. I think Lavia is very good. I think Lavia, to be fair, we'll give him a little. I'll give him a little shout out too. He played about 10 minutes at the end of the game, and he was really, really good too. Love that guy. I would just hope he could stay fit. But yeah, a phenomenal performance from Moises Caicedo again, and just he's our player of the season. He should be the Premier League player of the season. He hasn't got it, but there we go. Phenomenal from Moy. The last player I'm going to talk about, I do have one more point, but the last player I'm going to talk about is a very good player. It's Mark Cucurella. There's my rhyme for the day. Not only does he get the winning goal, and I said I was going to talk about him. I said in the intro I was going to talk about this guy. He gets the winning goal, which is obviously the most important thing. Arriving in the box like a prime striker, like a prime Cristiano Ronaldo with his 2-meter leap, right? To head in to win us the game. But it's not just that. It's the fact that he is completely and utterly, alongside Colwill, because I'll give him credit too, completely and utterly locked up their only threat that they have in this game, and that's Ahmad, right? Completely locked him up. And I've said this in the past, that Cucurella is the heartbeat of Chelsea. I've always said that. He is the heartbeat of Chelsea. He's the one that kind of bleeds blue. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He always puts in maximum effort, whether that's going forward or going back. And he's really, really, I'm hoping that this game has finally changed all of the doubters, because there are still some, right? There are still some doubters that say he's not a good player, right? He is by far the best left back in the league. Again, best left back in the league by a mile. By an absolute mile. He gets us out of this situation, and these are the types of things. If your strikers aren't providing for you, if your forwards aren't providing for you, you need to get goals from somewhere. He always takes that responsibility. And you know why the reason why this makes me so happy, specifically for him, and I'm glad that he's the one that scored this goal. Not only because obviously he's been our saviour in 2025, right? He's just scoring basically all of our goals in 2025. But the team that is up against, Manchester United, the team that was going to take him off our hands, and we eventually said, no, you're not going there, and we got rid of Chilwell instead. Could you imagine if we got rid of Cucurella instead of Chilwell? We sent Cucurella to United on loan. Can you imagine how badly we would be doing right now? He has genuinely saved our season. Like, I cannot fathom enough how much a left back has completely and utterly just transformed our season in this in this whole 2025, like few months in 2025. Again, just phenomenal. And again, he gets the game winning goal, so he has to go in here. And yeah, someone mentioned this in the past. I kind of said this, as I said this on Twitter as well. Very interesting that we've got Tommy T in the building watching the game. Obviously, there's a lot of English players in both sides. He's obviously scouting for the England team, and we get a classic Tommy T goal of right back cross into left back goal. Love that. That put a smile on my face. Second coming of Marcos Alonso. Love that for him. Honestly, I love this guy, and this kind of leads me onto my final point here. And I say he's the heartbeat of Chelsea, and the thing which I'm going to put in here, I'll make this nice and big. This is a point for not only the crowd, because the crowd were phenomenal today. I'll give the crowd credit when they actually do make noise, which is not very often. The crowd were incredible today. The players, despite the shaky start, really, you could tell they wanted to win this game. The second half, especially, they were really, really trying. And I'm gonna say, if you want, I say this, if you're gonna put in a bad performance, at least put in a good effort, right? We put in a really, really good effort. There was players like, again, Caicedo putting in maximum effort, Tosin putting in maximum effort, Cucurella putting in maximum effort. To his credit, I haven't put him in here. Noni Madueke, I thought he played pretty well on the left hand side, trying his best to kind of get past Mazraoui and doing that the majority of the time he tried. Unfortunately, the end product wasn't really there. But it's the thing which this is for is the passion at the end of the game, right? From Maresca, from again the players celebrating in the corner, Neto trying to get the crowd up, James trying to get the crowd up, Cucurella trying to get the crowd, everyone just trying to lift the crowd and get this kind of this unit of Chelsea, because Chelsea is not just the players, it's not just the club, it's not just the shirt, it's not just the badge on the shirt, it's not just the name. Chelsea is a community. It's a big group of people, and that includes the fans. And we kind of all need to be united, ironically, in this kind of final push that we've got going into the season. We need for Forest, for that game, Forest, the away support, because I believe it's at Forest Stadium. Away support needs to be absolutely on it. The players need to be absolutely on it. We win that, we get the Champions League qualification, and then we can take that confidence into the Conference League, win that too, and then we've got a good end to the season, and a very, very good performance from, I would say, from Enzo Maresca and the boys, because that's what the target's been. It's kind of what I predicted this season. I said for Chelsea, top 5 and a cup. That's what I wanted this season, and it looks like currently we are on form for top 5 and a cup, and that's what we can pray for. I said I'm in such a good mood. I'm gonna have to leave here soon because it is getting late. I don't want to be talking and pissing off my neighbours and stuff, but. Phenomenal game. When is, I shall check, when actually is the next game? I know it's coming up very soon. Let me quickly just find out when that is. I should check these things before, I never do. The Forest game is on Sunday, the 25th of May, and it's a 4 p.m. kickoff. So that means I will be live streaming at 2:30. My pre-match stream will be out 2:30. The day before that on a Saturday. Oh wow, Saturday is tomorrow. That's crazy. The preview for the Forest game will be out tomorrow, but again that'll probably be a bit of a shorter one, because that's a very, very short turnaround. Wait, is it in 2 weeks? Am I going crazy? It's next Sunday. Is it next Sunday? I was gonna say it can't be this Sunday. Surely not. Wait, hang on. Let me check that again. Our Forest game, yeah, it's the 25th of May, so it's next Sunday. It's not this Sunday. Christ. I was like, how have we got the game in 2 days? I know the scheduling in the Premier League is terrible, but still. But yeah, so it is at the City Ground. It's next Sunday, so I do have more time. So preview for that will be out on the Saturday, the 24th. And then obviously I'll do my pre-match stream on the day, so we can talk about the lineups and things like that. Let's vote for the True Blue, or the not the True Blue, the Grey Great. Oh, I was doing so well today to not call it that. Let's vote in the poll. Let's get the poll up. Oh, I've clicked on the wrong thing. This one. Start a poll. So we got the Grey Great for today. Also I wanted to ask how, because I put in the, oh my goodness. Enrique, thank you for the $5 Canadian. I appreciate that. Appreciate you very much. Up the Blues, cheers from Ontario, Canada. Canada is a place I really, really want to go. That's genuinely like such a beautiful country. I really want to go there at some point. But yes, thank you very much for that. I appreciate the support. Let's do. Sorry, I'm just currently typing, so I can't concentrate. I'm ADHD. I can't concentrate on 2 things at once. So I've got Tosin, Cucurella, Caicedo. Who else should go in here? Let's put James in here. I think Colwell was good, but let's put James in there. Boom. Day before your dad's birthday, perfect present for him. Love that. Absolutely love that. Because I like that, and I'm glad that you said that, because that's given me a nice kind of hopeful thing, because every single time I have a birthday, Chelsea play terribly, because my birthday's in January and we always play absolutely wank in the winter. The reason why I'm not putting Colwell in is just because him and Tosin came as a joint point, and Tosin was my focal point for that. I think Tosin was the better of the 2 centre-backs. Colwell, again, just phenomenal today. This is why I put him in here. And that's why he was the first. Those 2 were the first point I put in there, but there's only 4 spaces, unfortunately. One of these days I'll get onto the feedback. I'll get onto the feedback thing of the the YouTube guys that they email me all the time asking for feedback. I'll say, hey, let me do more than 4 people in my polls, please. That's what I'll get onto that. But yeah, phenomenal game for Chelsea. A huge 3 points in our quest for UCL football. And I'll I said, just man. I'm just in such a good mood. This is one of those performances, like getting one of those scrappy, fighty kind of play for the badge wins. Like, this is why I've put this heart in here. Like, that's the perfect thing for me. I'm just gonna take a sip of my drink. I don't know if I mentioned this. This is a 3 points. That's all that matters. Absolutely. I don't know if I mentioned this, but like, I'm only drinking at the moment. I'm only drinking 0 sugar like sodas at the moment because I'm on keto. I don't know if I probably mentioned that on the off chance. I've been doing the ketogenic diet for the last 2 months, and it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. If you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to get fit and stuff like that, I recommend doing keto. It's fun, absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, I think the thing is, the reason why I think there was changes today was because I think that Maresca really felt like this was a game that was easily winnable, and the Forest game is the one which we need every heavy hitter on. So I think Chalobah is obviously probably going to play in that game alongside Colwill, which is kind of again, that's the more important one, because getting the 3 points on Forest guarantees us winning the UCL spot, which is obviously what we're aiming for. So the kit release advert, phenomenal. That again, it's so Chelsea. I'm very glad that the ownership and the media team are really trying to focus on, hey, if you think about London, you think about Chelsea. That's the thing which I always say, right? We're called the Pride of London for a reason. We're the only London club that have the major European trophies for a reason. We are synonymous with London, and I want people, and the club obviously want this too, is that when they think of London, they think of football teams, that the first name that comes to them is us, and that's how it should be. The kit in general, the home kit, lovely, absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to see our away kits, because I'm a bit of a sucker for the away / kind of third kits. I always like those. The goalkeeper kit is very monochrome. I love that. Oh, absolutely beautiful. I'm probably going to get one of those. Fun fact, despite me being a short king, being 5'9", 5'8", 5'9", somewhere in the middle of there, I used to actually play as a goalie for my school. So I always love getting the goalkeeper kits anyway, if I can get a goalkeeper kit. So I'm probably going to get the goalkeeper kit when it goes in. But hopefully, I'm going to get it obviously once we get front of shirt sponsor, and when we get the obviously all of the players in. And I'm probably going to try and get a Petrovic one if he's our starting goalkeeper. I do not want to have to get a Robert Sanchez. 5'9" is average, yes, I know, but for I said I bought a 5'8", 5'9", so like, and the reason why I say that is obviously I'm specifically talking about being a goalkeeper. 5'8" for a goalkeeper is criminal. I don't know why they let me do it. I have no clue why they do it. They always say that goalkeepers are crazy, and you guys know that from me. I am crazy. Let's end the poll. I'm actually quite shocked that Flip that Cucurella has won this. I'm pretty sure. Oh, Cucurella has absolutely won it. And it makes sense because he's the one who won the game for us. So our grey great for the evening is Mark Cucurella, and yeah, I mean, fully deserved. I would probably, if it wasn't for him scoring the winner, I would have voted for Moy, and if Moy wasn't absolutely crazy, I would have voted for Tosin. All three of those guys could have won the player of the match today. I think Caicedo actually got given the official man of the match for the game, but obviously I let those things to you guys. Mark Cucurella guiding us to another victory, another 3 points in our quest for UCL football, which continues on Sunday, next Sunday, not this Sunday. It continues next Sunday, where of course I will be doing a preview on the Saturday, and then we'll be doing another live stream before the game, about 2:30, I'd imagine. About 2:30, so we can look at the lineups and stuff, and then again another grey scale. There we go. I got it eventually. One of these days, I've been doing this for almost 2 years. One of these days, I'm gonna be able to figure out how to talk. Like, not talking. I've been talking for 27 years. I mean, or no, about like 24 years. Like, I'm all out of sorts. You can tell I'm happy. It's such a good day. It's such a good day. And I hope you guys have a good night. As I said, thank you for tuning in as ever. Thank you for the support as well. Thank you for the super chat again, Enrique. Thank you for that. I appreciate that very, very much. And as I said, I'll talk to you guys soon. I don't know if I'm going to be on the Twitters later. I probably will be. I'll be talking on there. So if you want to interact with me, you can follow me over there. The links will be down in the description as always. And I'm not going to stop the stream early this time because last time I accidentally double clicked and it ended the stream before I finished my outro. So I'm not going to do that. But yes, up the Chelsea. Keep the blue flag flying high as ever. Come on, you Blues.